Women Who Own It podcast spotlights women business owners who are pioneers in their field, setting trends, blazing trails, and creating game-changing innovations. Brought to you by WBENC, the largest certifier of women-owned businesses in the U.S. and a leading advocate for women business owners and entrepreneurs. And me, Allison Maslan. I've been a business owner for the last 35 years. I'm the Wall Street Journal best-selling author of the book Scale or Fail. So join our bold community of women who built it, grew it, and own it. I'll see you on the show. Welcome to Women Who Own It, a WBENC podcast. This is a podcast for business women, by business women, and I am your host, Allison Maslan. I am the CEO and founder of Pinnacle Global Network, and we mentor business owners all over the world to grow and scale their company. Well, this podcast is all about highlighting amazing business women that are rocking it out in the business world and making a difference, changing the world, and helping so many people change their lives. And today, this is not an exception because we have a superstar businesswoman, Sharon Reynolds. She is the president and CEO of DevMar Products, LLC, which develops and distributes environmentally friendly, innovative products to both small businesses and large corporations to help them create healthier spaces while sustaining the environment. Founded in 2007, DevMar shot to the top of the cleaning goods industry, both locally in Nashville and around the world, and has been named one of Essence's top 9 most innovative companies in 2019, which is incredible. A business and sustainability rock star, Sharon's goal is to help companies large and small make a better impact in the world, especially by going greener, which is so important these days. Sharon has received many awards, just a few being WBENC's 2019 WBE Star Recognition and the 100 Black Men and Women President Organization's Women of Color Achievement Award, and being named one of Nashville's Business Journal's 2013 Women of Influence. Holy cow, Sharon. This is awesome. I'm so excited that you're here. Thank you for joining me today.
Oh, thank you, Allison. It is a pleasure to be here today. I always have an opportunity. If I have an opportunity, I always love to share my experiences so that it would hopefully be a positive influence on other women business owners. That's always my goal, is to give back.
Well, you do that a lot. So I'm just excited to share your message with everybody today. I love what you're doing in the business world, creating environmentally friendly cleaning products to protect the planet. And, we need that. And also protecting just our daily environment, especially with everything going on. Did you always know that you wanted to become a business owner?
Well, since I was a teenager, I had this penchant for making my own money. My father wasn't really too keen on his daughters working outside the home. So I had a very feisty aunt. My Aunt Gloria was my shero, so to speak, other than my mom. But she energized me. So she taught me how to sew. I loved the intricacies of making my own clothing. And as a child, I was the oldest of 7 children. So I knew that would be a challenge to, go to the store and buy whatever I wanted, so to speak. So she actually helped me just really focus and concentrate on making my own clothing, but not just making the clothing, but making them to a point of excellence. So I learned that at a very early age, and I thought, you know what, I'm making my own money. I have my own clients, and I'm making them happy. Didn't know at the time, by the time I was a senior in high school, I didn't know that I was an entrepreneur, but I was full-fledged making clothes and having customers coming in left and right. So it was really fun during that time. I think that helped mold and shape me into being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, you got the taste of it. Yeah, it kind of bites you. So That's really, really neat. So, and with DevMar, what is, you have a big vision, from everything that we've talked about and in the research, like you really have a big vision for DevMar. Can you share that with us?
Certainly. Well, let me just start out by saying the name came from our two sons. I named the company 10 years before I knew what direction I would take this company in. So Devin and Marco are two sons. And I remember when they were in high school, my oldest son is DeMarco and my younger son is Devin. So I approached both of them and I said, I'm going to name a company. I want to start a family legacy in addition to our rentals and rentals facility services that my husband launched 30 some odd years ago. And I said, do you mind if I put Devin's name first, DeMarco, because he's the oldest. And so he gave me the go ahead to do that. And he didn't mind at all. And I said, okay, so the name of the company is DevMar. And they asked me, so Mom, what are you going to do with the company? What will it be about? What can we look for in the future? I said, I don't know, but just stay tuned. And about 10 years later, after the economic downturn, the real estate crisis, I launched a janitorial and sanitary products distribution company. And so the vision for the company at that time was to become a national company and to scale and to have all of my specialty products under one umbrella. And so that's essentially what we've done. So the vision is to help the environment, to make sure that we are adding positively to the environment, because it's very difficult in a chemical world to do that. So we've done that in a way that it's been socially and environmentally responsible with our specialty products.
Yeah, that is fantastic. And also that your two boys are part of that, obviously, their energy being part of the company. Do you find that, I asked you this question because we have a lot of business owners and business women listening, and they might be going, wow, that's amazing what Sharon did. Well, she doesn't have any fear. How do you deal with that when, you've got this thing ahead of you, you've got this big vision? What helps you to break through the fear and take the leaps that you need to take to grow your business?
I've never really had fear in being an entrepreneur. I knew that if I'm going to work for myself and have my own business, that I absolutely had to work hard, to work harder, to work smarter, to put in the hours that it takes to find that center core within me that says, don't take no for an answer. And that is my motto. And as in a male-dominated industry, especially in the chemical industry, I've had my share of, no, you aren't able to do this because of that, etc. Well, that fuels me. And so it's actually made me fearless. I've never worried about where my next revenue stream was going to come from, or where my next paycheck, so to speak, was going to come from. As long as I believed in what I was doing, and I still to this very day, we're creating products that are extraordinary, and I'm going to put forth the effort that it takes to get there and align myself with positive thinking people, then I don't have any fear. I just don't.
I love that. I love that. So it's really you being aligned with what you're doing, and just that belief in yourself that you're just going to figure it out, like whatever it is.
Absolutely.
You don't take no for an answer.
That's absolutely right. And it's very important to understand your industry, to also understand your competitors, understand where the pain points are, understand the customer needs. All of that research needs to be done. But at the end of the day, you have to get out there and do it without fear. And so that's what we teach our children. And that's what, as I mentor young ladies in the business, young business owners, it's like, get out there, get started, get it done. And if you have questions, find a mentor. Make sure you can find someone that can help you through those challenges. You're going to face them, but it's how you come out on the other side. And so that's what I've always done. That's been my motto in raising these businesses. We have 5 companies. And so they all have some ebb and flow inside each other. But it's about absolutely getting out there and knowing that you can achieve, you can get it done.
Yeah, that's so great. Thank you for sharing that. Super, super inspiring. What do you feel have been some of your best strategies, Sharon, I mean, you've had amazing growth in your business, and you've obviously tapped into an industry that's, really needed right now. And so that helps. But have there been some things where you look back and you go, yeah, over the last 10 years, probably the best things that we did were, this
Sure.
that helped us to have real growth?
Sure. I think one of the best things we've done in the last 12 years, I think, is partnering. It's no man is an island. You can't do this all by yourself. Where we were looking at our specialty products, we actually partnered with the Morehouse School of Medicine's research team. At the time when we brought a product called Cleanup, which is a biohazard absorbent, we now have 5 patents on that particular technology. I wasn't in a financial position to be able to bring that product to market. And so the long and the short of it is that I know the president and dean of Morehouse School of Medicine, Dr. Valerie Montgomery Rice. She's a very good friend of mine. She's also my hero. She's incredible. And so I was able to take our product, introduce it with our team to their team, their research team, and they said, we love the concept, we love the idea, let's move forward. And that product has garnered a lot of attention. It eradicates pathogens where we live, work, and play. And so I'm a natural germaphobe, and so that was just right up my alley. And so one of the best things I think I can look back at and say that we did right is that we partnered with the right people, the right entities to help us grow our business, whether it's another WBE or whether it's our relationship with the research team or whether it's with a larger corporate.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I'm such a big believer in those vertical relationships, those joint ventures, because it opens you up to a whole other world that, they're the experts of, and you get to leverage that, and it's a win-win for both of you.
Absolutely. Yeah, that has been critical for us. And as a small business, as we grow into a mid-sized business, and our vision is to become a global business. Now, we are in global space right now, but we've got a lot more growing up to do. I never say that we've actually made it to the top. There's always something new. There are always other challenges. When I launched the company in 2007, I didn't know that we would be in the middle of a pandemic in 2020. And so I think all the things that we've done to prepare ourselves as we've reached this 2020 crisis has been really incredible, because we have products now that will eradicate COVID-19. And so I'm just grateful that our team had the foresight to keep going in the direction of the specialty products that we have that kills viruses, mold, mildew, and bacteria, because we're right in the sweet spot of being able to make a difference during this crisis.
Yeah, I would imagine with your products, like you couldn't have a more perfect product for what is going on right now. And so have you had a much bigger demand? I mean, how has COVID-19 impacted your business?
Well, it also allowed us an opportunity to pivot. We already have a streamline of business, but we were able to take a broad look at what's going on out there and look at protecting surfaces. So we have an antimicrobial product called Adapt, antimicrobial surface barrier protection. So when you clean a surface and you disinfect a surface, that's not enough, because someone who may have symptoms or sneezes on a surface could actually recontaminate the surface instantaneously. So our Adapt antimicrobial product protects that surface for up to 90 days. So
wow.
We were able to, it was just incredible. So the demand on that product is extremely high because it's about bringing the employees back to a safe work environment as employers are gauging that and working on that. We also pivoted and joined forces with another WBE, Joan LaGrasse, and my favorite person, and her company is Imagine. And so we formed a company called the Collaborative Workplace Readiness Solutions with other WBE. So it's all about partnering. So we combined our products and our services and our just everyday know-how in working with corporations to help them as they navigate a very tough environment. So we bring these products in that will help them at least make sure that they maintain their facilities and keep them safe for their employees.
Yeah, that is fantastic. I love how you are partnering with the WBEs, the other WBEs, which, you know, one of the things I wanted to ask you was how you're being part of WBENC, and, you know, how have you best capitalized on the support of this organization? And sounds like the amazing relationships, of course, that you're sharing. How else has WBENC helped your business grow?
Mm-hmm. Well, gosh, I know we don't have all day, so I'll keep it short. I can't say enough about this organization that is put in place to help women business entrepreneurs to exercise their talents and their vision and their growth, and have the extreme support of an organization that is just all about that. Introducing us to the corporates that can make a difference in our businesses. The certification process is well worth it. Yes, it's a bear of paperwork, but once you get past it, it's like, wow, this is an amazing place to be. The certification process is always something that people kind of shy away from. I tell ladies out there, look, go ahead, get the paperwork done. Then you expose yourself to an organization that can help grow your business to the next level. And so I just enjoy the opportunities that it affords us in educational series, as matchmaker sessions with corporates who are serious about supplier diversity initiatives. And so it has just been an incredible opportunity. I serve on the forum. I also serve with WBENC South, which is one of the RPOs, or regional partner organizations. And I serve as a board member for WBENC South. It has been unbelievable. And I think one of the main reasons why my company is actually global.
Yeah, wow, that's really powerful. I know I've been certified for 3 years, and I only wish I had done it years ago, because it really has been an incredible experience, amazing organization, tons of support, and I get to meet wonderful people like you. So, and I think too that sometimes people get certified and they don't leverage WBENC enough. So, you know, you are involved with the forum and all of those things. So obviously you're going to get out of it what you put into it. But
yes, and collaborating with other WBEs is one of the most powerful areas within WBENC. We're exposed to one another, and we share best practices and ideas and how we can come together to make a difference for our clients. And quite frankly, the collaborative workplace readiness solutions was born out of collaboration with other WBEs. And so we are actively engaged in helping corporates as they navigate their space to getting back to work. So so that's what you learn, and that's what is such a blessing about the organization. And like I said, I couldn't say enough about them because they're fantastic in what we've done and how far we've come.
yeah, wow, that's wonderful. And so, you know, you've had tremendous growth. I know that is going to continue for you. Along the way, what have been some challenges you've faced in growing your business? If you look at the trajectory from 2007 to now, what were some of the biggest challenges, and how do you face those? How do you manage to overcome them?
Sure. Well, always when you start a business and you're considered a startup, it's always difficult to navigate the way toward having access to capital. I know that's the first thing people say, but it's the truth. I was fortunate because when I left the real estate industry, I was pretty good steward over my money. So I was able to self-fund my business. But as it started to grow, and in the distribution business, you do have to have areas where you can purchase your equipment and your supplies and your space and things of that nature. So it did become a challenge. So that's a big challenge. The hurdle that we were able to manage and get by was that we were able to rapidly bring on a couple of big customers. And so with that leverage, we were able to bring contracts to the banks and say, here we are, we have this big customer, we have to provide these supplies, will you help us? And I've been a business owner for many, many years in Nashville, so I did have those relationships, so that really did help. And I think the other thing was just being taken seriously in the industry. I'm in the commercial and industrial JanSan industry, janitorial sanitary supplies. It's a big, big industry. And so when we launched, we were just had to we had to hang out with the giants, so to speak. And how did we navigate that space? Well, we just took it one day at a time. Remember, I told you earlier, I'm fearless, and if they can do it, I can do it. I just spent more time and studied the market and made sure that we could make it to the top of where we needed to be. Our team was very focused, and so because of that, about 6 years later, we became a national, and now we're an international company.
Wow, that is so incredible. Really, congratulations on what you've been able to do. I can tell from, just meeting you and talking to you, like you make a decision and you're like, it's happening.
Razor focused.
Yeah, it might not be tomorrow. It's going to happen.
It is going to happen. And so aside from that, we've launched DevMar Manufacturing. So in 2012, I decided that we were going to go in that direction because of quality control. I am I don't want to say I'm a control freak. That's hard to say. I don't want to say that about myself. However, I want to make sure it's done right. So any product that comes off the line and it has the propensity to eradicate viruses, mold, mildew, and bacteria, we want to make sure that we have a QC in place. So we monitor everything that's produced. Our manufacturing partner is in Rockford, Illinois. We're going to spin off from that facility and launch our own facility. So it's just very important to make sure that we understand our products once they're out there in the consumers' hands or out there in our customers' warehouses, that they do what they say they're supposed to do. And that was really important to me. And we're actually seeing it come to fruition.
Yeah, when you can have, when you're managing all of the moving parts, you definitely have more control. And it helps with your profitability, eventually, I would imagine. So that's super, super smart. Now you're always innovating. It sounds like you're very creative, whether it's a new product or a new way of doing business. Is there something that you do to tap into that creativity and that imagination, like with yourself or with your team? How do you come up with these new ideas?
Well, I do have a creative team, and it's not all about me. I listen. But as a fifth generation native Nashvilleian, and I come from a long line of entrepreneurs, I have seen some pretty incredible things happen in my family on both sides, my mother's and my father's side. And I've always marveled at their creativity. And so with that, I think maybe some of that comes into play. But really, to me, it's about leaving a legacy for my family. And I want to make sure that we are inspiring our sons. We have a son who lives in Shanghai. He's been there for 5 years, and he's just doing some wonderful things in Shanghai. And we have a son who lives in Nashville. And my husband and I have been married for 42 years, and we have our first grandbaby girl, and just creating that legacy. That's what motivates my creativity, because if I think outside the box, I know if I think outside the box, that it is going to be beneficial to not only my family, but to the community. We owe so much to our community. And I want to focus on how we can make it better, how we can bring our kids to a point where they're reading by third grade in these at-risk communities. So it's a lot of things we do in terms of giving back in that way to make sure that everyone has an equal chance and an equal opportunity.
I love that. You really, it sounds like, have so much passion for your community, obviously your family, and that's, you know, fueling everything that you do. And, you know, there are a lot of business women that get out of the gate and they get out strong, but then they kind of hit a wall in their growth. And they can't seem to get beyond that wall, whether it's the 6 figures or low 7 figures. Any advice that you would give to some of these women? I mean, they're working hard, but they're just not getting that big traction. What would you say?
I've been there, and you know, you're gonna get into those kind of, I think, those holes every now and then that you've got to really stop and analyze your business model. Make sure you understand what's going on around you in your industry. There could be something that's happening that you don't know about, so you've got to study. You have to make sure you attend focus groups. Make sure your ideas are being heard by others, because you cannot imagine what that does when you're in a group and you share your ideas, what kind of feedback you'll get. And then just follow the market, follow the trends, try to stay ahead of the trends. And I think that's a way to really pull through it. It's almost like getting writer's block, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so in business, I call it getting business block. You know,
Yeah.
It's happen. It really is going to happen. And so, but then there's a light at the end of the tunnel that often shows itself, and just be in tune with that. And you never know what's going to really happen. So know your industry, know how you can focus and get ahead of the trends. And I say, just study it and keep going, and partnering.
Yeah.
Partnering with maybe a vertical industry or a partner that's doing something a little different, a little unique, yet there's some synergies between your two companies. And that's what we found when I launched the collaborative with Joan LaGrasse, who's an unbelievable business owner. And so we came up with this concept in the middle of a pandemic. So take advantage of what's really going on out there, and see how you can best serve that purpose.
That is such great advice, Sharon. I think that it really comes down to that creativity. You can't keep doing it the same old, and expect different results. So whether it's partnering, looking at new trends, you know, and it's why I love the work I do with the mentoring, because we do masterminding with our clients. And when you get around other people, tap into their brain, their ideas. So that's really good advice. What about another area of struggle with business in general is finding the right employees. And now with everything that's going on in the world, I think there's going to be a bigger pool of employees than typically. But finding the employees that are motivated, you know, that are passionate. Do you have any tips or insights that have really helped you to build a strong team?
Well, I think it's all about your organizational culture. And when I'm interviewing someone, in the wake of COVID-19, of course, we're having the social distancing, and we're doing a lot of interviews, you know, with video chats and things of that nature. However, I think it's important to, and it does a disservice to the person that you're interviewing if you don't let them understand what your organizational culture is. I think it's a lot maybe about communication. Don't miscommunicate. Don't hold anything back. I have to have people understand who I am, the type of person that I am, the business ethic that I have for myself and for my team, for the company. I think that's extremely critical to convey that message. And then we have certain things that we do to make sure that the person that we hire is going to work out. So we have different steps that we take in testing and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, we're all people. We're all working toward a common goal. And that is the key, working toward a common goal and having that person understand your organizational culture. What is it about you that makes you who you are as a business owner and as a business, and how you support the community. So if you hire someone who's not on the same page, it's going to clash. It's not going to work. So, so that's, and then we also have our team interview that same person, it just bringing that to a point where everyone's in agreement, because that's very important. That everyone sees that it's an opportunity to bring someone on board, but will that person fit into your culture? So it's so that's how we address it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a family, really, right? So you have to, it's being in alignment with those values. And like you said, your vision. It's not always just the skill. There's so much more to it. So,
and we entertain hiring those individuals who bring the ideas to the table. We absolutely encourage that. It's not focused in one particular area in terms of its, you know, we have people address, we want people to share ideas and best practices and feel like their voice is heard. It's very important to make sure that the ideas that someone brings to the table, that they're listened to. At the end of the day, most people want to know that their ideas matter, that they're valued, and that that they're listened to, and that they can make a difference. And when you tell someone that, yes, please bring your ideas to the table, you matter, your ideas matter, you're valued. It goes way beyond just a paycheck.
Yeah, and I most people don't get that, you know, so that really, it does. They feel appreciated, they feel heard, and they feel important. So thank you for that. You have a passion for social justice and a catalyst for change, clearly, and transformation. And you even presented a scholarship to a really deserving at-risk high school student to help further her education. How important is this to you, and what do you recommend other business women do to make a difference in their communities and in the world?
I think it's monumentally important to make sure that our at-risk kids have an opportunity. I think they're diamonds in the rough that need polishing. And so as a 5-generation Nashville native, I attended public schools. I understand what it means to have food challenges and not live in my own home until I was 8 years old. And so someone gave me a chance and an opportunity to go to college. And I think that's extremely important to pay it forward. I'm also the advisory chair for Enterprising Women. And we have an organization called Young Enterprising Women, where we teach them the importance of STEAM. So the science, technology, engineering, arts, and math program has been fantastic. So this is our 3rd year. And of course, this year we weren't able to do it because of the surrounding pandemic, but we're able to mentor 60 girls at a time and bring an illustrious panel of unbelievably talented women who are engaged in STEAM, and to just mentor our girls for a day and have them ask questions and understand what they may want to study in college, or ask the questions, what are their career choices are going to be, and how will they navigate through that choice. So these are just incredible young high school girls who have an opportunity to do that. In exchange, I'd like to say that it's very important that it's fundamentally important that we reach our kids before they're in third grade, that they have to be reading by third grade. So the programs that we put in place with me and my husband is that we maintain our visibility in metropolitan Nashville-Davidson County schools to make sure that we're mentoring our children and making sure that they have that opportunity for reading. So the literacy program is very important, and I think it molds and shapes kids. If they're not reading by third grade, then we're going to have some issues and some problems that we're not going to want to face. And so I just think it's very important to stick close to that particular grade level and making sure that they're successful.
Yeah, well, thank you for all that you're doing. It is inspiring, and I do feel that when you're creating the success, paying it forward is one of the most rewarding things that you can do, and that just keeps, it just keeps that engine going and creates a lot of opportunity, which is what business is about. So you mentioned earlier, Sharon, about your legacy a little bit. How would you like your legacy to be written?
I'd like to be known as the person who never took no for an answer. And I know it sounds cliche, but leaning in is really important, especially for women. And so if you have a passion about something and you believe in it, go for it. Don't take no for an answer. My Aunt Gloria instilled that in me at a very early age. And Robert Frost is one of my favorite poets who speaks about the road less traveled. And when he says, I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that made all the difference. So I really think that I have taken roads that have been less traveled. They've been difficult, but it's worth it. And that's why I am such an avid believer in the legacy of never taking no for an answer.
Wow. Oh my gosh, you just inspired me. I want to go read more of Robert Frost. It's been a long time. So thank you for sharing that. It's so
Thank
beautiful.
you, Allison. Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today.
Yeah, this has been so wonderful. I know that all of the business women that are listening to this are truly, truly inspired. And so thank you for being with us today. And I wish you the best of success and, great health. So
thank you, Allison.
And
same to you and your family.
Yeah, and I look forward to seeing you in person at one of the WBENC conferences soon.
Absolutely. That's what I just aspire for. It's where I get my energy and my charge. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. And so for those of you that have joined us today, if you haven't subscribed yet to the Women Who Own It, the WBENC podcast, please do that. And if you enjoyed this today, please give us a review. You can subscribe on iTunes. You can subscribe on Spotify, anywhere that podcasts are aired. And like always, as I say, get out there and elevate yourself because you are worth it. Bye, everybody.